Good morning, students. Today we are going to start the first lesson from history. Students, look at this. This is your history textbook. This is how it looks like. Students, the first lesson of history is what, where, how, and when. This is the title of first lesson. Students, the lesson begins with the scene the Rashida, a girl, see one day as reading a newspaper. There suddenly her eyes fell on a small headline, 100 years ago. Then the question arose in her mind, and she wondered for a moment, could anyone know what had happened so many years ago? Then this was her question, and she was quite curious to know about the answer. How could it possible? One could know about 100 years ago. It's very simple answer for this question of Rashida, children. One can know about 100 years back or even more what was happened. Then the sources of history that the historians they make use to know about these facts, they are like inscriptions, manuscripts, and archaeology. Children, these are the sources of information through which one can understand and to know about all the day-to-days happening past in the ancient days, how people lived, what was their day-to-day activities, how the society was formed, and everything we can understand. And these are the important sources of history. Students, after the questions we solve here, we come to the second point of lesson, that is, what can we know about the past? Students, there are many things we can find out what people ate, what kind of clothes they wore, what kind of the houses they lived in. We can also find out about the lives of 100 years before, how the hunters, herders, farmers, rulers, merchants, and many such varieties of the communities of people, how was their life. We can find out about the games children played, the stories they heard, that they plays, they saw the songs and they sang also. So students, here the first word of our lesson is what? The important things that, say for example, you take a means of transportations. Of course, students, I would like to tell you, history is subjected to change, and change is inevitable, a feature of the society. Say for example, we and our parents know about the means of transportation like planes, aeroplanes, I mean to say, and our grandparents, they might be know about the bus and trains. our grandparents, they might know and familiar about the bullock carts as a means of transportation. This is what how in the field of transportation that the changes have come in. These changes are known as the chronological changes or a temporal changes. And this change, as I told you, is the inevitable feature of society that keep on going or changing. Students, you know that the people, what was their day-to-day activities, how was their lifestyle, what they ate, what they wore, what they did as a profession, then all these informations could we come to know through the history. After this, we come to know even in the history some of the areas where the women and men first began to grow the crops such as wheat and barley. About 8,000 years ago are located here. So what were the different crops they grew? That this is what the main point to be understand as a part of our first word in the lesson. People also began rearing animals like sheep, goat and cattle. If at all the people began to rear the animal, then the question arises before us is what were the domesticated animals in those days? Then it's very simple, like as it is mentioned, the sheep, goat and the cattle. They were the common animals reared in the beginning as a domesticated animals. And where did they live? They lived in a villages. So for example, like the Garo hills to the southeast and the Vindhyas in the central India, these were the places where did they live. These were some of the other areas, and even children, we can also understand as a part of this word what these people in the ancient days, as around 8,000 to 10,000 years ago, as it is the said that agriculture was developed around 10,000 years ago, that was also developed around in the areas like Vindhyas and the Garo hills. Students, about 4,700 years ago, some of the earlier cities they flourished on the banks of rivers. Students, in order to understand the cities which were the earliest cities developed around 4,700 years ago, like we heard in our previous classes also, the Indus Valley civilization, that the civilization which developed at the banks of the Indus River. Look at this. The northwestern part of our country, here is the Indus River. And these are the Jhelum, Chenab, then Ravi. These are the tributaries of this river Indus. And on this bank of the Indus River, that our Indus Valley civilizations developed. Then I was about to tell you, students, those cities which were flourished like the Harappa and Mohenjo-daro's main cities, Kalibanga and Lothal. Lothal is here in Gujarat, and the Kalibanga is located in Rajasthan here. So these were the major important cities around 4700 years ago. They flourished, and on that too bank of rivers. Later, subsequently, about 2500 years ago, these cities developed again on the other river bank, that is Ganga river and its tributaries. Along the sea coast areas also we could see. Students, in ancient times, the area along these rivers to the south of Ganga was known as Magadha. Its rulers were very powerful and set up a large kingdom. Kingdoms were set up in other parts of the country as well. Then here at this point of moment, we come to know some of the important factors like civilization, settlement, agriculture. So these three important points which we, as a outcome of this discussion, we understand as a part of this lesson where the Indus Valley civilizations flourished. So why this civilization was developed on the banks of a river? This is another question arises before us. Then we come to know about the settlement, the people in the ancient days. So where did they settle? Where did they live? By constructing the houses in those days, that is known as the settlement. Then we come to the next point about the professions, the major occupation of those people, what they did. And we found here as a part of the lesson that around 8,000 to 10,000 years ago, the people, they started rearing animal and agriculture simultaneously. Rearing agriculture was started about somewhere 8,000 years ago, and agriculture was began around 10,000 years before. These were the major two occupations of those people. Then, students, we come to the next point of the paragraph. The same point we are moving through the lesson, where what? So, men and women, they moved in search of a livelihood, as also to escape from natural disasters like floods, the droughts. Sometimes men marched in armies, conquering others' land. Then beside this, some people also they traveled as a merchants with the caravans or ships carrying very valuable goods from place to place. And apart from these three reasons, even some people they travel a long distance as a religious teachers. They walk from village to village, town to town, stopping to offer instructions and advice on the way. So this was the mission of some people who came out as religious teachers, and they moved on a long distance from village to village and town to town, stopping again and again over the way, and goes on instructing the people and advising them on the life, on the religion, and many more such things associated to the divine and the spiritual life of the people. Student, there are certain peoples, even perhaps they travel driven by a spirit of adventures, wanting to discover a new and exciting places. So we could see in the history that the many people, they had a very ardent the desire to find out a new places, in a search of the new places. As a part of their adventures, they began to discover, and it was a very exciting to know about new places. Therefore some people, they led such type of the movement, which is called the adventure movement of the people. Students, as a part of the movement of people, they might be moved or traveled for one or other reason. No matter why they traveled, whether in search of the food, or in search of the better opportunities, or the business, or selling the goods and commodities, or might be the conquering the surrounding lands. But as a result of this, one important point comes out here is this kind of the movement of the people has led for sharing the ideas between the people. So when students, a large number of people, a movement could see in the past for various reasons, then they went on from place to place and town to towns, and they went on meeting to the people. That provided a platform where these people can interact with them and exchange their ideas one another. And this is how students, the what and where, these two the words of our lesson first in the history, we could able to cover in today's video. So this is enough for today, and remaining point of the lessons will be continued in my video 2 next class. Have a good day.